Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of The Spruikers. We're previewing round 9 of the AFL. Michael Sharkey, welcome
aboard.
Good morning,
Jake. Very early this morning.
You've got a rather unfortunate song stuck in your head at the moment, I believe.
Yeah, if you like pina coladas.
Would you care to give us a few bars?
No, look, I won't embarrass myself like that.
Maybe
Karaoke bars, possibly.
Maybe you can off air while we catch up with Nat with all the latest AFL news.
Definitely.
Thanks, Jake. Fremantle defender Michael Johnson has been suspended by the club for 6 weeks and fined $5,000 after being charged by WA police with possessing cocaine. The Gold Coast is reportedly offering Geelong superstar Gary Ablett over $2 million for his first season at the club if he decides to make the move up north. And Sydney Swans co-captain Brett Kirk has announced he will retire from football at the end of the season. To injury news, and St Jason Graham will miss the next month of football after undergoing groin surgery during the week. Adelaide midfielder Bernie Vince has capped off a shocking week by rolling his ankle at training on Wednesday. The injury follows Vince's 1-week club-imposed suspension for staying out too late after the Crows lost to North Melbourne last week. And Brisbane Lions assistant coach Jade Rawlings says that forward duo Jonathan Brown and Brendan Favola will play against the Crows on Sunday, despite spending the week in Adelaide undergoing specialist groin treatment. And that's what's making news this week, boys. Back to you.
Thanks, Nat. Geez, 2 million clams.
You buy a lot of pina coladas with $2 million.
You could. What do you reckon Michael Johnson and Bernie Vince would do with that money? Don't answer that.
Don't answer that.
Let's get stuck into
maybe open a nightclub.
Yeah, correct. I think they'd be very efficient at that as well. Round 9 of the AFL is the betting in this round is remarkable. 4 games that are so close to call that Betfair and I'm sure other bookmakers haven't been able to put up an even money line. 4 of the games there are, but 4 not. It's very uncommon. They being Collingwood and Geelong, Sydney, Freo, Adelaide, Brisbane and West Coast and St Kilda. Hasn't St Kilda's fall from grace been remarkable?
Yeah, no Rewalt, no Nick, no Saints.
The last time he played for St Kilda, they were $3.75 to win the flag. They're out to $10 now.
Wow, $10. You'd be laying him at that price too, wouldn't you? There's no guarantee he's ever going to play again, isn't it, the Mail?
That's right, yeah. So they are probably a lay. They're 188 to defeat the West Coast this week, 212, going from the last game of the weekend first. It's just bizarre to consider that St Kilda are 188 against West Coast. Last year's runners-up against the team who finished 15th last year, or 14th. Incredible. Collingwood and Geelong is arguably the match of the round and arguably the match of the season to date. Yes. Collingwood at 218, Geelong 184 in this match. Interestingly, 3 out of the last, I think 5 times these two sides have played has been a 12-goal margin.
Okay.
I think that potentially comes into play here because either team tends to break the other one's heart and run away with it. So with that in mind, I'd like to bring something to your attention, and that is that Collingwood are $7.60 to win by 40 points plus, and Geelong $6. It may sound ridiculous given that the odds for these two sides are so close together, but
the form is there.
The form is there. Who are you anticipating will come away with victory here, Mick?
Look, it's a pretty tough one, isn't it? I think I'll stick with Geelong. Even though Mick Muldouse seems to have hung around with the Australian Boomers basketball squad during the off-season. He's
strange.
Full court press, or whatever you call it. Yeah. They all run forward, they all run back.
Double dribble.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah.
Travelling.
Yeah, there's a bit of travelling going on.
Double dribble. Yeah.
Technical fouls? No, I haven't seen any of those.
In the paint?
Yeah, exactly right. No, I think I'll stick with Geelong. You know, they got the form on the board, and Collingwood, I reckon they're front runners. I'm still backing them to be front runners, you know.
Yeah.
Bit of pressure on. The Catters just swarm.
Lee Matthews said this week he had concerns about Collingwood's defence, and I think I agree with him. But they're playing an irrepressible band of footy at the moment. I'm reluctant to bet against them. I'd be probably betting in play in that game, and betting live throughout the entire game is Betfair's thing. It's the only place you can do it every single second of the game, Mick.
Can we get a market on Chris Dawes to have the biggest head in AFL football? His cranium is the size of a watermelon.
He's got a big loaf, doesn't he?
He is an enormous man.
Dawson. He's Dawson.
Big unit.
My boys, the Bombers, won last week, very surprisingly against St Kilda. I think I'm.
Are you going to tip them against?
I'm not on the Essendon wagon just yet, but I'm going to stop potting them. They were
I think
really
that's a good
impressive last
idea.
week. So.
They keep winning though, so maybe there's something there.
Well, every time I pot them, they win. So maybe I should pot them and say that Richmond are good things this week.
Well, it's the dream time game, isn't it, this week?
It is, yeah. In all seriousness, though, 127 about Essendon is too short for me. I'm laying at that price.
Yeah, a little bit short.
I'm risking $27 to win someone else's 100. Richmond 430. They've put on 7 good quarters out of the last 8, and they've got close to victory. Essendon are right for the picking after potentially getting ahead of themselves.
They'll be cocky.
Oh,
Tigers could be ready to pounce.
They really could be. And Carlton Hawthorn, I think, it should be another sensational game. They played a fantastic game last year when I think Fev hit the post, and the result just went Hawthorn's way, I think, from memory. Carlton are 142 favourites there and Hawthorn 330. Carlton are arguably the form side of the competition.
We'll smash them.
Take the 140 and run, do you think?
Take the plus 40, I think. The 325 at over 40 points. See you later.
Well, I don't know. Hawthorn, I just can't place them. They'll come out and win one game soon. Whether or not it's this week, I'm not quite sure. Mick will get your Betfair Big Spruik in just a moment, but before we do, Nat, can we have your Betfair Big Spruik of round 9, please?
The Betfair Big Spruik.
All right, guys, this week it's another Oz multi for me. I'm potting the Hawks this week. Their form has been absolutely pathetic, so I'll be backing the Blues to beat Hawthorn and Geelong to get over the Pies on Friday night, and that's paying around $2.50, so that'll do me pretty nicely for this week.
Thanks, Nat. Nat, like yourself and myself last week, Mick was successful with their Oz multi. It's proving to be a coup.
On fire. I'm actually we've had to tilt the camera because one of my arse cheeks is up on a slant. My wallet's so full of cash.
Very good. And that's all by betting on Betfair Oz multis.
Exactly right.
Can I have your Betfair Big Spruik for round 9, please, Michael?
Yeah, look, we're going to go for another Oz multi since we're on fire at the moment. We're going to go Geelong. These are all head-to-head. Geelong at $1.84. Carlton at $1.42 and value Adelaide at $2.26 at home against the Lions. So all the Irish boys and Poms back in the office there, get on.
That's right. I'm going against you there. Adelaide have just lost their best midfielder this week, Bernie Vince, so I think they're no chance against Brisbane. Or they're not no chance, but I won't be including them in my Oz multi. I'm taking the 3 shorties of the round, the Western Bulldogs against your Blokes. $1.27 head-to-head there. Essendon, I'm putting something behind them this week for the first time in 2010. Wow. They're 127 against the Tigers. And Carlton 142 to defeat Hawthorn, just like you did. That should get you around 2-1 or 350, I think, or thereabouts, is my Oz multi for the week. Mick, best of luck for your round 9 punting.
And you, Jake?
Same to you, punters. We'll catch up with you again in advance of round 10.